Hi everyone, I'm Tina Willis. I'm an injury attorney down in Florida, and I just wanted to take the time to tell you what I think are the 4 most important days in your personal injury case. The first day, and I think the most important day, is the day that you decide to hire your lawyer. You should be hiring someone who you feel is not handling a volume of cases, who will give you personalized attention and really listen to what happened in your case, how you were injured, exactly how the accident happened, to make sure there's an understanding of who's at fault, as well as guide you through some important steps, which I go through on my website and in some videos about how you can increase the value of many injury cases. And I go through a long consultation with my clients to go through that. So I think it's important that you do feel that level of comfort. I actually just spoke with a potential client yesterday, actually soon to be client, who was turned off by 3 major advertising firms in town because when she called, number 1, she couldn't talk to a lawyer. Number 2, they actually just wanted to email her the intake form, the contract, hiring the lawyer, which I find to be outrageous, and then sign her up and her questions would be answered later. Well, that's wonderful. But that's not the experience you should have. The experience you should have is you speak with an attorney. They ask what happened in your case. They go through some pros and cons, because not every case is a home run, and you need to understand if there are weaknesses in your case. That's important. The second most important day, and actually it's very important once you've selected your attorney, the most important day in your lawsuit up until trial is the day of your deposition. Your deposition will be your sworn testimony under oath. There will be a court reporter there. Your attorney should prepare you for this, and you will be asked a series of questions. You'll be asked how the accident happened in great detail. You will be expected to go through an unbelievable level of detail about that. You'll also be asked about your injuries and all the different ways your injuries affected your life. Every restriction imaginable that you have. Has it affected your sleep? Has it affected your work? Has it affected your hobbies and your playtime with your children? Different activities that you used to enjoy. Maybe you used to be a runner and now you can no longer run. But these are questions that the defense attorneys will go through, and many people make the mistake of thinking the attorneys for the defense are judging their case fairly during a deposition and that some decision will be rendered by them. But that's not how it is. They're just looking for dirt on you. They want to hurt your case. And so it's very important that you prepare for that, because what happens in your deposition can really make or break your case. Your time to tell your story and to be fairly judged is when you go to trial before a jury, and you get before there's a judge, jury, and you get to tell your side of the story, but be in front of a fair group of people. That's not your deposition. But your deposition is very important, because every attorney at the table will be assessing how likely you are to succeed at trial based largely on your deposition testimony. Preparation for that is extremely important. And I go through on my website some of the things that you can do. And I also go through with my clients exactly how to prepare for their deposition. So that's the second day. Third day, it's very important. You don't have to do a lot of prep for it, but it's the day of your mediation. Many personal injury cases settle during mediations. And at that time, we come forward. It's an informal gathering. Well, it's not a court gathering. It's the defense attorney, typically sometimes the defendant, a plaintiff or plaintiffs if there were multiple people injured in the accident, and a mediator. The mediator does not make a decision. This person is just trying to get all the parties to come together to see the strengths and weaknesses of each case. He tries to persuade each side to come a little up or come a little down. Typically, hopefully, it's an attorney who's giving their view on how the case might be considered by a judge or jury, and they're just basically trying to convince you why you should settle for your case for a certain amount, and trying to convince the defendant. You really don't have to prep extensively for this, although your lawyer should go in knowing what your medical bills are and really having a thorough understanding of the arguments that are in your favor, because those can be presented to the mediator and help strengthen your chance to settle your case for a good value. Those are 3 days. If you get through all of those, the last and most important of any would be any trial days, and it's usually not one day. Could be a series of days or even weeks, depending on the severity of your injuries and the complexity of the issues involved and the amount of money at stake generally. So that's very important, although you should know that 98% of cases, or even higher if you factor in those that are never filed, 98% settled before trial. The key is to get prepared for trial, and there are lots of things that I go through with my clients that help them while their case is pending, which lasts usually a couple of years, to help them really get prepared for what's going to happen and be prepared to go to trial so the defense knows we're serious and ultimately tenders a settlement value that's good for you. So those are the foremost. I just want to say one thing, since I only picked 4, but real quick to add in, also very important are all of your doctor's appointments and making sure you have them. And I do, again, go through that with my clients in initial consultations and throughout the pendency of their case, explaining to them why they need to see their doctor and the importance to their injury case. So that's it. Those are the 4 most important days, plus the doctor. And I hope you've learned something, and I will. Thanks so much for listening.